Success does not always depend on ability and diligence. Why are there so many rich people in the world with very mediocre talents? And why are smart people not always successful? We are not inclined to attribute our achievements in life to a happy coincidence. We usually attribute our financial standing or other victories to our brilliant intellect, talents, professionalism, and hard work. But if success really depends on ability, then why is the world full of rich mediocrities and smart poor people? Recently, a group of Italian scientists developed a computer simulation to determine how people achieve material success. The study showed that the most successful people are not the owners of outstanding abilities, but simply the lucky ones. The mediocre are the lucky ones. In the illusory model of the world created by the researchers, lived 1,000 people who had different levels of giftedness and worked in different industries. During the simulation, happy and unhappy events occurred in their lives, which the computer calculated at random. Each character in the simulation first had 10 units of capital. It depended on a person's abilities, intelligence, level of professionalism, and persistence, how he or she would take advantage of random opportunities in life and increase his or her capital. After simulating 40 years of life, the approximate length of a person's career, the distribution of wealth in the computer model was very similar to that in the real world. Most of the capital was concentrated in the hands of a small percentage of people. Why do people buy gold Bentleys and diamond headphones? How much money do the rich really have? Have the most capable heroes achieved the most success? We always thought that's the way it should be, because society rewards the talented and intelligent, says study participant, physicist Alessandro Blusino. But the simulation showed a different result. Very often people with average ability who just got lucky became successful. We found a direct correlation between success and fate. A series of lucky accidents contributed to great success, even if a person's individual abilities were not outstanding. Just as it happens in real life. We know many examples of quite ordinary individuals achieving a high material standard of living and success. Of course, to take advantage of the happy accidents that fall to one's lot, certain abilities are still needed. A person must be intelligent or industrious. But talent alone is not enough for great success. In the computer simulation, there were only a small proportion of gifted individuals among those who came out on top. Sharing the wealth? Such findings could affect how power and financial institutions allocate opportunities, such as grants for academic research. Then the most gifted individuals, that is, the people who could really drive progress forward, would also get the greatest chance to succeed. Researchers have discovered several ways to change the way society currently rewards successful people. What the new elite spend money on. For example, instead of handing out bonuses to those who are already successful, a small amount of money could be given to each member of society. In a computer simulation, this strategy has proven to be more effective than the democratic reward system. Even when only 25% of the people chosen at random, without regard to their past accomplishments, received money, the number of gifted people who ended up succeeding increased markedly. This strategy proved to be more effective than rewarding successful people because, as we have already found out, success depended largely on luck. On the other hand, past achievements do not guarantee high performance in the future, warns economist Alessio Biondo. If we take into account that past successes are the result not only of talent, but also of coincidence, then by rewarding past merit, we celebrate not only a person's ability but also luck. This has interesting implications for society as a whole and could create more equal opportunity for all. Which includes better education and healthcare, for example, explains another study participant. The rich get richer. However, the discovery of Italian scientists is important not only for policy at the macroeconomic level, but also for understanding the role of chance in the life of each of us. For example, realizing what role the fact of being born in a developed country or in a wealthy family has played in our achievements. We tend to pay attention to the obstacles that arise on our way to success, but we forget about the favorable factors that helped us become who we are. Researchers have called this tendency the asymmetry of running in headwinds. In other words, we remember the difficulties we had to overcome on the way to success, going against the headwind, but we overlook the advantages we gained by chance, tailwind. Luck can also make us more generous. Research by Robert Frank, author of Success and Luck, suggests that when people realize they are lucky in something, they are more able to donate money to charity. In the study, participants were asked to recall an occasion in their lives when they had been lucky. One group was asked to list what traits of their personality contributed to the good result. A second group was asked to list extrinsic circumstances that contributed to the event, while the control group was simply asked to describe a positive experience. Snobbery of the educated, discreet bias. All participants in the experiment received a monetary reward and were asked to give the money to charity if they wished. The group that thought about external reasons for their success donated 25% more money. Happy events in life, the country where you were born, your wealthy parents, the people you happen to meet, are virtually independent of your control and are a fluke of circumstance. However, even the authors of the aforementioned study are convinced that increasing your chances of luck is quite possible. Don't neglect any opportunity in life or chance encounter, advises Alessandro Pelusino. Of course, it does not guarantee success 100%, but if you sit locked in your room, fortune will definitely not smile on you. He adds why some people are successful and others are not. Swift career growth, respect from colleagues, high pay, a family idyll. Some people get it all on a 1-2, and someone never manages to find himself in life and achieve heights. Who to blame and what to do? The formula of success for many people is as incomprehensible as the recipe for the philosopher's stone for the ancient alchemists. It often happens that a person is fully laid out at work, has all the qualities necessary to build a happy family, but time after time remains out of business. Perhaps the secret really exists. We have analyzed the biographies of the most successful people of today to understand in what direction should move those who do not want to remain at the foot of the Olympus of personal and professional success. Successful people accumulate knowledge. The most famous entrepreneur of the 21st century, Elon Musk, needs no special introduction. In this case, his main talent lies in how masterly he is able to absorb new information, look for options to achieve their goals, and constantly expand the field of knowledge. When he got interested in space technologies, he had once delved into the sphere wishing to know as much as possible to understand the principles of work of space equipment and so on. And what has he achieved now? Already in a couple of years there are plans to launch people to Mars under the direction of Musk. Now pay attention. Every day the South African billionaire reads 2 books. And this is someone who works 80 hours a week. The bottom line: you want to succeed, read, learn new things, attend various trainings and seminars. Do not stand still, expand your worldview. Do not be distracted by insignificant things. At the mention of Steve Jobs, how do you picture him? Let me guess, in a black Golf and blue jeans? Not in a Brioni suit, not with $1 million watch, and not even accompanied by an Ethiopian supermodel. All the external entourage and pathos is clearly not about him. But he has a sharp mind, the ability to find non-standard solutions to problems, leadership and organizational talent, faith in his own strength, and in the strength of his team. If you have a dream, a goal, a plan, stick to it. Believe in the success of your business. Don't be distracted by unnecessary tinsel. Don't let the momentary desires to knock yourself from the chosen path. Remember that the main thing is to be committed to your business, not to fashion, trends and other people's stereotypes. Do not be afraid of bold ideas. One striking example of unconventional thinking is Tony Hsieh, the founder of the world-famous online store Zappos. His approach to business and organization of work processes became an example for hundreds of thousands of entrepreneurs. He was not afraid to trust his instincts, to invest in a project which many thought absurd, to sell shoes over the internet, to offer customers a truly supreme service. And most importantly, he was able to create a team which helped him to succeed. Without an authoritarian style of leadership, rigid frameworks and prohibitions, based on complete mutual trust and a common idea. How should this help you? First, learn to trust people. Walking alone through the thorns to the stars is always more difficult. Second, learn to trust yourself. Not all crazy ideas are so crazy. What do unsuccessful people do? Abandon.